of imperialist wars once again centers the military. Why? Because the government funds education at $70 billion. And although that seems like a lot of money to work with at a glance, the reality is that the government funds the military 10 times that amount. Our tax dollars have gone to fund the military at $700 billion. Again, this is the same military that's the largest polluter on the planet. It's the same military that's being used to wage imperialist wars on other countries to secure the same oil that they're using to pollute the planet. Mass as spreading democracy, a democracy that we still don't have in the United States. This is the same military that our working class siblings at pollution-filled bases, by the way, around the globe, by the way, are returning back to the U.S. and not being treated with the health care or the dignity that is rightfully due to them. This is one of the main reasons that we cannot sit back and wait on a presidential election to solve our problems. This is one of the main reasons why everyone who is involved in the environmental fight chooses not to question the investment of these dollars into imperialist wars. That's problematic. This is the propaganda that the rich ruling class would love us to believe, that we're just out here doing and saving the day, helping other people, when we don't even do that here in the United States. But it cannot and will not happen just because we have some progressive sounding candidates that are still in favor of voting for imperialist war budgets. So imperialism itself is nothing more than capitalism at its highest state, highest form. That's all it is. You've taken what you've been doing here with these cotton plantations and these sugar plantations, and now you want to spread it around the globe, and you do it with oil plants, you do it with other chemical plants. It's the same thing. Here locally, in the city or in the state, the police is needed. The police is needed to help protect what? Property of the rich ruling class. The businesses of the rich ruling class. Our military has taken on that same role, but globally. The military has taken on the same role as police. It's just policing the globe. Why? Because we got all these military bases around the globe. We're causing all kind of havoc around the globe. So clearly the military has to be there. Now, when we think about it at the end of the day, it says something, because so many of the so-called progressive candidates, they can't be taken seriously, not if they're remaining silent on the ways in which the government is using our working class siblings in the military, or the way in which the government is using our working class dollars to fund this oppressive empire, and all in the name of patriotism. There's something to be said about understanding the way in which the mainstream media spreads propaganda that criminalizes black and brown people in pursuit of liberation. It's the same way the mainstream media spreads propaganda to criminalize black and brown countries in pursuit of self-determination. A liberation from having U.S. military bases in their country, war waged on them for attempting to liberate themselves from the U.S. dollar, or liberate themselves from Western ways of building capitalist systems that inherently require exploitation and oppression. They're saying no. And the United States of America knows that, which is why they continue to fund the military. There is no Republican, no Democrat, and no Democrat socialist candidate that remains silent on this kind of egregious funding of imperialist wars that can ever be a friend of the people. Why? Because it appears only that progress is being made while the same harmful, dangerous activity is ultimately being funded. Let me give you another example. Even Forbes, you gotta use their stuff sometime, baby. Even Forbes, which is a money magazine, right, that props up all of the names of the billionaires and gives you all these inspirational stories so that you too can one day become a rich capitalist. Forbes says, contrary to public posturing, now look at the language here, posturing, congressional Democrats in 2018 voted overwhelmingly for the massive defensive funding for the $716 billion military budget, which is a 2-year deal. Every time they vote on this, it's a 2-year deal. We need revolutionary-minded people to stand against funding imperialist wars, and none of the most touted presidential candidates have done that. And that goes for Bernie Sanders, too. And the beloved members of the squad, let's talk about them. 2 of them voted in favor of the military budget. Of course we stand in solidarity. I'm coming back to that. I'm going to go a little deeper with that. Of course we stand in solidarity with women of color who've been targeted by racist attacks. We cannot, nor will we ever condone that kind of attack, that kind of racist attack on anybody. But at the end of the day, we've got to hold them accountable too. Those particular women choosing to vote in favor of a budget that would put military onslaught over children, family, education, and everything else needed to invest proactively into working class people, they need to be held accountable too. For those looking for an elected official to be a savior, it's disappointing to you, I know, when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib, who was just here not too long ago, sitting in all these circles with all these people who say they're fighting for truth and justice. My question is, how many of them looked her in her face and asked her why she's funding imperialist wars? See, we can't over here on one hand say we're fighting for the environment, but then over here be so proud of candidates that are fighting to fund imperialist wars. When you fund the military at $700 billion, you're saying you don't care about the environment, and we need to make those connections. They both joined 217 other Democrats in doing so. We need to hold them accountable and require that they redeem themselves and not repeat this life and death mistake for that 2020 budget. So if we love Ocasio so much and we love Rashida Tlaib so much, we should be asking them, what are they doing? We should, because at the end of the day, we're talking about life and death at this point. We must stand in solidarity only with those who stand in solidarity with the working class people. I want to emphasize that Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Pressley did vote no. And the reason I do want to point that out is because it shows that if somebody wants to vote no, they actually could. But here's the problem. Voting no and then not taking full advantage of educating your constituency about why you voted no, so that they can fully understand and it can help mobilize and re-elevate the consciousness of the people about why that is so problematic. And I understand that sometimes, even those of us who are in our room, we might be sitting in circles with people and we don't want to challenge them and we don't know what they're going to say. But we got to remember, this is life and death at this point. So I want to quickly go through some things pertaining to the state of Louisiana, and then I want to talk about our parish, and we're going to bring it full circle. In the state of Louisiana, I'm gonna read to you what the capitalists say. There's many resources, and there's one called Opportunity Louisiana. And I'm gonna actually read to you what they say to the business people who they're trying to court and solicit to do business here in Louisiana. So just listen to it, because these are their words, not mine. They say, more than 300 facilities owned by U.S.-based and international process industries are concentrated in Louisiana. Louisiana's strength in process industries spring from the state's natural resources, including crude oil, first produced decades ago both inland and off the coast in the Gulf of Mexico, the place where they always have those oil leaks. And we have to contend with that here. The state holds rich deposits of natural gas along with natural salt domes beneath the ground that are essential components in creating plastics and other products. Those natural resources joined by favorable business climate, because Louisiana has a skilled workforce, a diverse transportation infrastructure. Now I don't know which streets, look, they don't drive down the same streets we do. They create pathways for these large trucks and all of what they need to get in and get out seamlessly, whereas you're trying to drive your car, but you barely paying for it, and you can't even get down the street without dropping into a hole. It goes on to say that they've created competitive advantages for the industries to thrive and expand and evolve in Louisiana. They say, not the least of those advantages is, and I quote, the intricate pipeline system. Gavin, remember you used to talk to us about this all the time? The intricate pipeline system developed in the state to transport natural gas. Now, had we all collectively been on our job, this pipeline wouldn't be coming through Louisiana. But when all the indigenous folks on the front line were saying, y'all need to pay attention down here because I know we up here at Standing Rock that shit's coming towards you. Everybody was holding on. But now they're able to say, we got this already. We got this pipeline system and we're ready to do what? Continue industrial gases, hydrogen, crude oil, and refined products. It then goes on to boast that the pipeline density, the interstate and the intrastate, that it has the greatest structure of any other U.S. continental state, with Ohio at a distant second. So how is it that Louisiana can boast that? Because it's investing in business. It's investing in the rich ruling class. It's not investing in the working class. That working class that they say is the workforce that they have to do their bid. These are three things that I just want to highlight that they emphasize all the time that don't apply to us. They're saying, and they're reporting, low taxes, affordable facilities, affordable utilities, and significant costs and advantages. Now, if we just took those things and applied it to us as residents, we'd be better off. We don't have those things. We don't have low taxes. We don't have affordable facilities or housing that we live in, and we don't have those kind of discounted advantages. So, when we think about our state and we think about us, every single time one of these plants, one of these industries is coming our way, our answer should be no every time. As a people, it should be no every time. And all the people who we so-called vote for, we should be telling them no all of the time. Even right here, as people were organizing in the East around the energy plant, right? They said, oh, well, you guys don't need to organize around that. The plant's already here. We're just greening the plant. We're not really doing anything new. We're just going to make it green. But that's the same way as people say, don't worry about the military, y'all. Don't worry about the kind of harm that the Pentagon is causing. We're just going to